Yes, we are live. Welcome to another installment of the Super Streaming People. Here we are from different countries of the world for you. We have some guests. There's a couple of people that have not arrived yet, but will be joining soon. We have Sarah.
Hello.
Hey, we have Sarah, of course. She is already a streaming star because she has been recently on Sean's podcast.
Oh yeah.
Great podcast. I recommend that you watch it too, because the streaming is not everything we have. We have variety here at Gpro. And we have Tony.
Hello.
And we have Daryl. And Twig will be arriving any minute now.
What's up, bitches? Race day. Let's do it.
Finally, race day arrived finally. You know that
Yes.
it's incredible what the season break does to Giproers' minds, because we all get all stressed and anxious. We are all waiting for the race, and we are all set, and then we are stressed because we have nothing to do. I don't know if you experience pre-season stress, people.
Yeah,
Do you?
it's called off-season depression, I think is the actual official terminology for it.
Okay,
Um,
Dr. Kumbetowski?
yes, Dr.
Please.
Kumrowski is here to diagnose all of these things. And yeah, I think that we should be grateful that we are back in action and kicking ass.
Yep.
Right, Tony?
That's right. Hey, I see Eric. Eric wants his kiss already. He missed the first one.
Eric.
We weren't live.
I know. Eric, I love you. Oh, I love you so much. You big sexy man, you.
Yes, we have a thing going between Eric and Daryl. I don't know if it is official. Can we talk about it?
It is pretty official. I don't know if Eric is ready to tell all of his other boyfriends, but yeah, it's official. We're an item.
You're an item, definitely. How would it be? Derek or Errol? How would the couple's name be?
I think it should be Derek because Errol sounds really weird and I just don't like it. So I think we'll call it Derek. I like it. I dig it.
Well, we have the first question. I think this is a bad intention question, Daryl.
Yeah, it's going really well. It's going about as well as yours, but
I think there's something you are not telling us, Daryl.
Well, so here's the thing, right? So I've been playing G Pro since season 17 on and off. And this is the first season that I have ever even thought about putting together a plan. So
this is a management game, let me tell you.
Right. No, I hear what you're saying and it makes complete sense. But I didn't realize it was a management game until like 3 seasons ago. I just thought you clicked buttons and signed drivers and plugged in numbers and got lucky. That's what I thought. So joke's on me.
But what did change is the question, because as you said, you were playing on and off, and you had visited Pro before, which is the tier you're returning to. But what changed from those seasons where you were pushing random buttons to this day?
Less drugs and alcohol, really, is what I would attribute it to. No, but seriously, I just kind of played casually for a long time, but I don't know. Well, here's what happened. Honestly, honest to goodness, I got into Discord. And because there was an active community that was chatting, that's what connects me to a game, is the community and
boom
and being able to chat with people. And so it was that really got me turned on to actually trying in the game. So thank you to Discord and thank you to Flo, because your cuteness also, I'm just being honest, got me wanting to play a little bit more too. I'm just saying, hey girl,
Well,
hey girl, hey.
credit where it's due. We need to mention Luke Frost for putting together the server, because he was the one with the initiative to put the server together, and he started it.
Yep.
At first it didn't go very well. It was dead for a couple of years, but then he gave it another try and it worked. So yeah, I think that the Discord has changed a lot the way we play the game too, because teams also use it as a tool these days. Do you guys use Discord in your teams?
We at Tyrell, the greatest new team of all time, we do use Discord on a pretty regular basis. So, in fact, the race channel is typically lit up pretty good, and we have some good discussions. So it's good. It's good to be in an active community outside of the race day posts in the forums. And I'm sure anybody who plays this game knows what I'm talking about. The only time you get activity is to post your data into the forum. So I'm glad that that's not the case.
Yeah, well, some teams still work like that.
A lot of teams still work like that.
Just posting data and sharing maybe strategies for the race, like, well, how many stops, how much fuel, and not much more than that. What about you, Tony? How does that Discord work for Malati?
Yeah, we have a pretty active channel on Discord. A lot of things, strategy, all kinds of other things on there. Some more active than others.
I've been told that you have a kitties and dogs channel in the server.
Animals and pets.
Animals and pets? I thought it was about cats and dogs only.
Can you let me into the server, please?
I want to share my pets' pictures.
I want to see all the kitty cats.
Why don't we
I'm
have?
sure that's all.
Why don't we have such channel in the Discord server? I want to share pictures of my cats. Pussy pictures.
We love pussy pictures, all of us.
We need pussy pictures.
Yes, we do. You are so absolutely accurate. Hey, who else is sucking in their first race in their new division? Raise your hand.
I have no idea because I hardly watch my own race when we are streaming.
Well, didn't you just demote? So you shouldn't be sucking if you just demoted. I'm just saying.
I just demoted, yes, but I'm on 0 clear track, so
I'm hanging around an 8th right now.
8th? Man, I'd give anything for 8th.
8th sounds a pretty decent debut, Tony.
Yeah, I'll take 8th.
What about this? Is this your second try at Master currently, Tony?
Yeah. Yeah, the first time was I think season 70 or something like that. So much better package this go around, much more prepared.
It's a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Season 70 is like 2 years ago.
Tony,
What changed in that package?
Is better this time around. I'm glad you have a better package.
Yeah.
We all want to see Tony's package.
You do. I do. Listen, he's got so much bass in that voice. I am digging it. Wow, my friend.
Thank you. I think it's just realizing some of the different aspects of the game and just how much more maybe important they are, and kind of getting to what we were talking about earlier as far as planning, and realizing that it takes some planning, well before you even get there, as far as driver, facilities, testing.
Testing, yes. I think that many people neglect the testing earlier in their careers. They don't see how important it is.
I didn't know what testing was.
He didn't know there was a testing page on the game.
Yeah, I was like, testing, what's that? So like when you hit the mic, testing 1, 2, 3. Can you guys hear me? No, that's not what it is. Okay.
So yeah, so I think I arrived this time with about car level about 2 levels higher than last time. So
Oh, that's a lot. That's a big difference. So what's new? 2 car levels. Well, I have tested a little bit last season, but in my case, things are a little bit on the other side. I recently relegated, so my car is shit. Basically, I have a level 6 car, almost 5. I have as many level 3 parts as you can imagine, and I have not run so many level 3 parts since I was a rookie, which was like 10 years ago.
Jesus, sorry.
So it's a bit depressing to see my car at this moment, but I recover the package at some point and start developing it back.
If we could just continue to use the word package the rest of the day, that would be fantastic. Thank you so much. Every time Flo says package, I will donate money to a charity.
Oh, God.
oh, now they're going to be lining up trying to get Flo to say it.
That's interesting. I have no problem. I'm not a shy person, I can talk about
Ooh.
pussy and package all day long.
I love this
Boy,
conversation.
this just took a turn.
It did. It's great when you package the pussy with the package together. That's fantastic.
When you put the pussy with the package, yes.
Yes,
Definitely.
I heard that works out very well.
What about you, Sarah? How's that package? What were you able to develop in your very brief experience in the game?
Well, just enough to survive rookie, I guess, and get promoted. I basically have level 4 parts, a few level 3, 1 level 5, and that's about it.
Have you visited the testing facility?
Yes, last season. In the beginning, basically.
Oh, I believe that your parts suffered a little bit from testing when the parts are a little bit on the low side.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, and in the middle of the season, I did some testing as well, but not as much as in the beginning of the season. So, my car didn't improve as much during the season.
Well, but I guess that your driver did get the benefit from the testing.
I guess so. I still want 2 races.
So what about you and drivers, Sarah? Why do you dispose of those poor drivers? Why don't you?
You
Why
make
don't
it sound like
stick-
I'm like a harsh manager, but I'm really not.
You are not a very nice employer, You
Right.
just use
Kicking
and
drivers to
dispose
the
of.
curb.
Yeah,
Use
you
them
didn't
and
win
then
the
get rid of
championship
them.
for me.
Mm.
Bugger off. No, so basically, their overall is too high to retain them, and yeah, I found out too late that you can actually sign them for the next season.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I
That-
had to enter amateur with a new driver again.
rookie tip: if you have a nice driver with a nice OA base, some talent, keep it and sign it for 34 races. Not what Sarah did.
No, not what Sarah did. Every 2 races, a new driver.
No, it's not every 2 races. Every race.
Even better. Perfect, Sarah. Keep it up.
Yeah, thanks.
That's funny.
There's people that is worried about my race pace. Yeah, I know.
I know. I see some of that. What's going on with you?
I'm at 0 clear track, people. Be patient. This is not a push race.
I'm stuck on a big train, so.
Come on.
Well, I've been falling back like a brick too, so it's fine.
Yeah, still an 8th.
I'm literally at the end of the train, though, and there's like 6, 10, 12 cars in it, so that's cool. It's my favorite spot to be, at the back of the train.
Choo choo.
Especially when Eric's in the front. I'm just saying.
Eric,
Ooh.
you're required at the streaming.
Eric has a question for you, Flo.
Yeah, one kind elite champion. Well, never. Next question, please. There was a discussion recently at the Discord server about me pushing an elite and stuff like that, which I find very odd. But the point is that if I ever win the elite championship, you will know the game is broken. We don't want Pro to implode, people. Come on, be realistic. Don't ask about me and championships.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Right, Flo's bot's already won 9 times. That's a really good point.
Well, I coded it nicely. But it's different because if I'm undercover under a different identity, posing as a male, well, that looks different, you know? People don't suspect I'm a female double account or anything like that.
Hope you have a nice package then, though.
If you need to borrow my package, let me know. I'll be happy to lend it to you.
We knew the game was broken when they won, definitely. Definitely. People, here, Bruno Caseiro asks, what's your prediction for top 3 in Elite this season? Have you been checking the tire picks in Elite, or you don't give a damn about Elite?
A lot of cocks in Elite.
Oh, I think that Shahim is going to try to annoy the guys on bridges. What about you guys? Any predictions for Elite?
Not really. I haven't really been following Elite.
You don't follow Elite.
I have a tough time following my own division.
I've been forced to follow Elite because I kind of have a few teammates there.
Well, I'm starting to follow Elite this season, but I didn't follow last season, and I don't know enough yet to like look into things like tires and stuff like that. So I don't really want to make a prediction because I don't know enough yet.
Well, but you're planning to educate yourself on Elite. I think that it's very interesting to follow Elite exactly to learn about tires and see what the big guys are doing. Not that the game is not enjoyable at other levels, of course it is. But we also want to know how to play with more toys. Or
packages.
Love when you guys play with toys. It's my favorite, so I get it.
Well, we have toys, packages, and pussy.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
We keep adding to the list.
Yes, and that makes sense. I mean, I feel like you need all of those things to be successful in an online manager game.
That's why Sarah keeps going through the drivers.
What about Europe? What about Europe?
Right toys.
Toy boys.
Toy boys. That's right.
In my case, I have a female driver, so not toy boy. What about your driver, Tony? I think that you have been working a bit on it.
Yeah, I've had him for I think about 7 seasons now. I know, kind of like the project driver route. So we'll see. Have him for this season. We'll see what happens beyond that. But
well,
he's getting old. He's getting over 30.
In Darius' case, he's also training a driver, I understand?
Yeah, I got mine when he was just a little itty baby at 17, and now he's 22. and has a shitload of experience, but he's also extremely expensive. So that has, unfortunately, I'm going to have to part ways at some point, but he's pretty good.
Oh, so you are not planning to attack Elite with it?
No, he's not good enough for Elite. I'd get to Master with him, but that'd probably be as far as I'll get.
Well, that's something that happens when you get a nice experienced driver. It tends to get a little bit expensive, and it also can get tricky to keep because of away matters.
Yep. And he likes strippers, so it is really expensive. Hangs out with Eric and his driver too much. I said he likes strippers, so he hangs out with Eric and his driver too much. So
It's like a special
they hang
bonus.
out.
yeah, no, that's a real thing. Does it look like Voltron is standing on my shoulder? I totally think it does. In the background there.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, it's Voltron. It's the
Well,
Lego Voltron.
We have
I'm 43 years old and I play with toys.
We have the Elite leader pitting. I don't know what strategies we have. They might be in 3-stop.
That must be a 3-stop, right?
extras. A 3-stop extras. We have Jan on bridges on 6. Harsh, I don't know what he's on. I think he's on Hancock's. Same as Shaspa. Josh, and who's leading? Who could be leading the race? The one and only Puzzlebot. The one and only.
I'm still in P19 for those that might not care.
We're very interested in your race, Darin.
I'm not really interested in it. I'm so uninterested in it at this point.
This chat is more interesting than the race.
Yes, for sure.
Well, it's good to watch a very boring race with some good company. You know, I have this 0 clear track, no pace race, and I need some company, definitely.
I understand.
Guys, I wanted to ask a question to all of you, which is related to how you got recruited into your teams. Especially Daryl, because it's recent. But I also wanted to know about Domini and Sarah's recruitments. Who goes first?
I'll go, I guess. I got lucky.
You got lucky. That's the definition.
For me, it's
If I can hardly even remember back. Oh, that far. I think when I started was season 63. I think really back before, Melody was what it is. Now there's been so much that's come since then. So heck, I probably wouldn't even get in now, but was doing real well in rookie and just looking at some things and put in my application and just got lucky.
Welcome, Twig.
Hey, look, someone new.
Hello.
There's Twig.
All right.
Hello.
Another Melody.
Another
Hello,
Maladi,
evening.
yeah. We needed some more Maladi spice in the streaming.
There's too many already, right?
We sometimes have too many Nubolaris in the streaming, so I guess that we could have some Maladis for a change tonight. How's that race going, Twig?
It's going as expected, really. I'm just poodling along on my Continental tires and just seeing what happens. I said to some of the guys, I think that's probably a best for me actually to have a race like this when I'm on the stream, because I think if it was an important race and I was worried about what was happening, I probably wouldn't be able to concentrate on what you guys are saying. So it's quite good. I can just leave my race and be like, yeah, whatever. I'm 32nd. That's fine.
So you're telling that you are basically benefiting from you sucking.
Yes, exactly.
So,
I mean, that's a bit harsh. I'd like to blame my tires rather than my bad management, but yeah.
well, the tires are a big part of the management. Picking a tire you will be with for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and I was hoping that there were going to be a few more Piparelli tires, to be honest.
No.
It was going to make my life a little bit easier if there were.
Only 3, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I think I'm going to have to budget for a P36 for
my God.
the rest of the season, just to play it safe. Yeah.
To play it safe, yeah. To modify your season plan a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Well, I was pretty. I didn't expect much of my season, so I budgeted for a P20 this race, I think, which might be achievable. I have no idea how my own race is going because I'm a noob.
It's always hard to gauge things on the first race, though, right? I can look at where I'm qualified and how the race is going and feel disappointed and depressed at how difficult Elite is. But I guess, so much can happen over the course of the season. We've got a lot of people on premium tires. They can't all finish in the points. They can't all get that race income, right? So we'll see how it pans out.
Well, but taking a risk to play with the big boys is part of the game too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all about staying safe at amateur like me.
Yes, I mean, obviously you've got people with different priorities and different timescales as well. So sometimes it feels difficult if some people are playing a short-term game and you're trying to play maybe a longer-term game and they finish above you, right? And you've got to try and keep patient and hope it comes through. I mean, that happened in my promotion season as well in Master. I felt pretty confident, or maybe not confident, but optimistic going into it. And I think obviously then when I saw I had 2 Michelini tires to compete with, and then I started the season okay, but not great. There were a couple of other people in my group like Kuba who was just so much faster than me, and suddenly I was thinking, I thought I was going to be strong here, and I was starting to get a bit worried about how the season was going to go, but hung in there, stuck it out, and managed to get stronger as the season went on. But it's the start of the season is always a bit worrying because obviously people who have just promoted, they come up and they've got like maxed out motivation and that kind of thing, which means they qualify better than you. And well, in this case, I mean, I'm one of the people with the max moti, and I'm still shit at qualifying. So
it's the contest.
Don't know where that leaves me, but yeah.
It's blame the contest.
Exactly.
Always blame the contest. We have learned that from Ricardo too, at the server.
Yeah, I just looked at the streams and the comments. Ethan is exactly right that my target for the season is to finish 20th. Because I've on all my seasons of playing, I've never finished 20th. So I've come close a couple of times, but I still haven't done it. So if I finish P20 once, at least that'll be something. I mean, talk about setting the bar low, right?
No, it's part of the management. Being optimistic, realistic.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Depending, there's a moment for everything. Talking about your past season, congratulations on you. First of all, because I haven't said this, congratulations everyone on your promotions, because you are all promoters. You are all winners. Congratulations to everyone. I personally believe that you had a very solid season, Twig, and that your fears were totally unfounded.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just just at the first maybe like 4 or 5 races, I was a bit concerned. I felt quite confident going into the season. But yeah, after 4 or 5 races, it felt as though there was going to be more than. I mean, I just wanted to promote, right? I thought if as long as I finished third and I kind of stay on track with my plan, that's the main thing. And I was obviously when it started, and there seemed to be at least 4 people in the race, and a couple of other guys as well who looked as though they could be strong. I was just a little bit anxious that things might not go as planned, but as the season went on, I managed to kind of pretty much stick to what I set out at the start of the season.
Yeah, and it paid off, I think. But it was, I understand your fears, and it was natural to be worried about some packages you had in Master last season, because yes, there is laughing again about missing package.
Yeah.
Love you too, Daryl. Anyway, I was saying that it's natural to be worried, because we had the French guys who were on premiums and pushing very hard towards team points.
Yeah, I mean, they did fantastically well from a team perspective. And I think that knowing that was their goal, it kind of made it more stressful, because I knew that they didn't really care that much about testing. They weren't too worried about, or they didn't have to be that worried about their money, as long as they finished the season with $1 in the bank, they were fine, right? As well as like they could do spa whenever they wanted to, and I just thought all of those things, just as well as being on premium tires, just meant it was a little bit more of a challenge than perhaps it could have been otherwise. I did get some good fortune as well, I must say. I would say, you can ask my teammates, I feel as though I've had a fair bit of misfortune over the years with some things that have happened, but last season I did get a bit fortunate in the sense that I didn't get any, which is obviously, that in itself is lucky, but it was more that some of my rivals did actually get them. I know that Thomas I think he had a random early, and he also had a start accident, which I know that start accidents aren't completely random, but they still feel a bit like that. And I think Kuba had a random early in the season as well, and there was another guy who had a couple of randoms in the season. So kind of helped me that they had that, and not that I would wish a setback like that on anyone, but it did play into my hands a little bit that they had the setbacks when they did, because it meant that I was able to kind of get stronger when they were probably having to recover from that. I kind of thought, though, because the French Kiss guys put everything into it last season, I said to myself, well, it's okay, it's tough this season, but next season in Elite, they'll all just take PP, so it'll make it much easier. And they haven't. That wasn't part of the deal, guys.
No, I think Manu has won PPs.
Yeah.
Who else?
Then we've got Laszlo, is he on PPs? And
Robert, Robert
and Ilyushenko, I think, is on PPs.
He has been stuck with that old driver of mine, which cannot be good, because I trained him. Now he was a pretty decent master promoter, but it was not a developed elite driver when I left it. And poor Robert has been hanging on at elite with that hideous driver of mine. And yeah, it was about to happen, that he needed to relegate at some point. But we have. Let's check the French guys. I tried to invite them, but I wasn't lucky, because between the language barrier and the personal issues and lives coming in between, there wasn't. Nobody was able to make it to this streaming. But I wanted to clarify that I did invite the French guys to the streaming. And it wasn't possible to get any. Anyway, but
that's too bad. I could have used the baguette. I'm really disappointed about that.
we could have got a different accent in the streaming. You know, we have 2 Americans, an English and Australian. We have everyone is an English native speaker, but me tonight. That's embarrassing, you know. That
I think you have the best accent of all of us.
Yep.
though, I'm just saying.
We can't tell.
I'm just.
That's
Hey,
why
Phil, how
everybody
you doing?
listens.
How you doing, girl? What's going on over there? Look at that smile. I love it.
no, it's fine, but I feel a little bit embarrassed because my English is far from perfect, and I'm here, but I'm trying to give it all to
Trust me, I know a
to
lot of
help
native
with the
speakers who
streaming.
speak a lot worse than that.
Right, and they live in America.
They live
so.
here, yeah.
They live in America, yeah. You came late to the party, so I'm going to ask you too about how you were recruited to Marathi.
That was a while ago now. It was, I think I was speaking to Nigel Smith.
Oh, Nigel, I remember him
yeah.
from chat.
Yeah, exactly. He was quite busy. I think I was on, because I think when you sign up, you have access to the chat, don't you, as a supporter? And I was just one of those like annoying rookies asking annoying questions. But
I love those.
I guess it shows. In fact, actually, I do remember that we have. Sorry, give me 1 second.
No problem. Yeah, one of the.
Sorry. Yeah.
No problem. Go on.
Yeah, I was going to say I actually do remember having an email from you, Flo, when I was a rookie about something I was asking on the forums. And do you know what? I still don't know the answer to it even now.
Obi, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what I was asking things about like setup and stuff and how you know, obviously when you start off, you pick a number and you kind of go higher or lower based on the comments and stuff. And I think I was asking like, how do I know roughly where to start? So with like wings, if the track says it's high downforce, then maybe you would start with a higher number rather than a lower number. And same with like suspension, and you maybe have a steer on the engine based on like the power rating or top speed or something. But I was like, I think my question was, how do I know where to start with brakes and gears? Is there anything that tells me whether I should start at 500 or if I should start at 700 or 300? And obviously now those questions are like so basic and it doesn't matter. But that was the kind of thing that I was like asking. And I remember having an email from you about it and probably telling me just to not worry about it.
Start from 500 and stop asking stupid questions.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's how I got in.
Makes sense.
I think at the time it was very much like a developing team, I suppose. They had quite a lot of recruitment and the focus was on recruiting new people to the game, I suppose. But yeah, I think we've obviously come a long way since then, and I think please tell me I don't. Oh, can you believe it? Sorry, I just got distracted. It looks like my all that luck of last season has gone away because I've now got a random in this race.
Oh my god! This streaming is bad luck, people.
Yeah, unbelievable. Oh well.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, it was going to happen any moment. So
yeah, at least it happened in a race that I
you are not
wasn't planning on trying to score points in, but still a bit annoying. Not the greatest start to my new season.
Welcome to Elite.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so we still maintain that. We still try and recruit people who are fairly new to the game and show kind of potential in the lower divisions. But I think back then it was still like establishing our team, kind of what we knew anyway. And I think it goes without saying that Jasper, as I refer to him, or Hasper, as you refer to him, and Jasper, which I think is how he's meant to be called, obviously did a lot for the team, and he's not the only one. Lots of other guys have had a good input for developing tools and ideas, and also people like George getting to Elite and staying there for so long, and then Hakeem obviously winning 2 championships. We've got lots of like really good people in the team now, and it's nice to have. We're still recruiting new people, people in the lower divisions, and it's nice to see those people kind of develop into top players. But it's also, we've got people who are also, at the top end of the game, winning championships as well. So that's great.
Well, but
And
I think
I would just like to say that obviously, without me getting to elite before anyone else in the team, they obviously wouldn't
they
have
will
known
be
what
all
to do.
lost.
So without me getting there
You're
twice
not
and
quick.
still not scoring a point,
Yeah, well, your experience are elite, and well, it happened something similar to me when I arrived to Jaguar. We had some guys that had spent 1-2 seasons at elite, and what they collected as information and their experience helped a lot for me to have a different experience from theirs. I was able to stay 7-8 seasons at elite the first time I went there, and that was like a lot for the team back then. I got the first elite win for the team. As a matter
and
of
that was
fact,
back in the day when it was really
it was,
really hard in the elite, right?
yes.
That was like
I
when
think
back then it was even
that the
harder than it
level
is
is.
now.
I think that the level is pretty high now too, but yes, you had some dominating guys like Toigan and Leandro when he was playing regularly at elite. Now he comes and goes. He's not established at elite, but he visits once in a while. We had João Monteiro. Who else was there? Well, we had a Christo that was relatively new back then. He had not spent so many seasons, but he started winning championships. Same case. Who else we had? Well, we had Freddy too when he was at the special one, who won a championship. We had Senek Ladek. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not very good at such. Who was a 4 times champion. There were the Lithuanian guys that were part of the Lithuanian Apples. The team still remains, but the old guys that were playing at the higher tiers have retired mostly. And it was really hard to crack the top, and I think that we might be having a similar situation now, because these guys might not have been many guys from the same team at elite at the same time, but they talked to each other and they had some kind of agreement with the sponsor situation, and that made the newcomers days a lot harder to get sponsorships. Now you have Malatis and Nubularis and Jaguars, and I guess that there's probably something similar going on, but it's different because it's between teammates. But in the old days, the top guys like Leandro and Monteiro and Toigan agreed on which sponsors they were going to go for. And I remember trying to get into that discussion and being called off for being a noob. It had its good things and bad things, of course. Elite is different now, but I see it as a good thing. I think it's healthy environment anyway. I don't know how do you see elite these days? How does it look from the outside? Well, you're
is that a
inside
question
now.
to me, or I was going to say
you're now inside, but you have been outside for some time, and
I mean, it's hard for me to say. I mean, it does feel as though it is pretty competitive. I mean, this season it looks like everyone has gone on there's loads of Hancocks and there's Michis as well. So it's obviously going to be difficult to score points. But I don't know if that's a good or bad thing for me being on Contis, because at least it means that in the hotter races, maybe I've got a chance of actually scoring some points. But we'll see. It all depends on whether it ties up with how good my car is at certain races, I think.
Well, there are not many hot weather tires on the grid.
No.
I see that.
I thought you were going to say there's not many hot races. I was like, what do you know? What do you know about this season? Yeah.
I have no idea.
She has the knowledge, so let her fool you.
I'm known for being the person who makes the worst tire picks of all. I have picked Hancocks in the hottest season of Gipro, and I have picked Bridges in the coldest season. So don't watch at me while picking tires, guys. It's not a good idea. No, I meant the hot weather tires.
Yeah,
like Contis and Bridges.
I think it's about waiting for your chance really, but yeah, I think it gets a bit painful when you every race you're like, okay, I'll save the wear, I'll save my energy or whatever for the next race, and then the next race is cold. I think this is what happened last season, right? For anyone who picked Conti, it was just like, okay, I'll save it for the next race, and eventually it's like, well, one of these bloody races is going to turn up.
Guys, you and Bruno, who's at the chat too. So hi there, Bruno.
Yeah. Hi, Bruno,
you two picked Contis after seeing Jasper suffer like a motherfucker.
Yeah, well,
why?
There's two ways of looking at it, right? I mean, because obviously Bruno did quite well out of the Contis last season, winning 2 races in his first ever season in Elite. I think Bruno last season, I think I'm right in saying he had maybe 4 races that he was eyeing as possible good results. I think 2 of them he had cold, wet weather, but then the other 2 he actually got hot weather, so it worked a treat for him. So I think I'd take that. I say that take that on my win bonus on my TD might be a bit painful if I do end up winning a race somehow, but I don't think I'm going to. But I'd certainly take 2 races like Bruno had last season. But it's still worrying when every race coming in and you're seeing it's another bad year or Hancock weather when you're on the Contis. I know that Jasper was getting a little bit frustrated with how it was going, even though he still managed to get some decent results in there as well. But I think he felt as though he could have done a lot better if he had a bit better weather.
Yes, but I think of course, the problem you get when the weather doesn't go your way and you cannot perform every race is that it makes it harder to pick up the sponsors.
Yeah, well, that's probably the one thing that I was unsure about picking up with Contis is the sponsor progress and the sponsor satisfaction, right? I'm a little bit. I've got my sponsors at the moment are looking okay, and in the future I think my sponsors are looking okay. But if I start losing them, after a few races, that's when it's gonna be difficult.
Hey there, Shanub.
Hey.
There we go. See, now we've got the full set. You've got all the promoters, and now you've got the guy who's promoting from elite to elite champion this season.
Well, definitely one of the contenders of the season. Here with you, my co-host.
No. This is
Janub.
just going for race 1 retention.
Yeah, that's what I do. I pick the most expensive tire of them all to push one race. Yep, very logic. Nobody buys your shit.
Nobody. I didn't buy it. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I didn't buy it.
Talking about tire pick, how did you pick your tires, Ariel?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. That doesn't work for you guys.
Throw a dart.
That's exactly how I picked my tires. Come on.
Because it's the second time you have to pick tires. You have spent less than a season at pro before
Right.
and the big moment arrived to pick tires, and play
Yeah,
with more toys.
I just
Have a
picked
TV.
one. I just picked one. It was fine.
Did you have a discussion with the teammates? Anything?
What the fuck do they know? They can barely get themselves up in the morning. How the hell are they going to help me pick tires?
Those
wait.
noobs.
Let me just make sure that my chat's not blowing up in Discord. Hold on one second. No, but seriously, I did ask the team, and keeping in mind with what my goals were for the season, I just promoted to pro, and it definitely wasn't a promotion season for me, so it was just something safe, right? Yeah, that's what it comes down to. It was a safe choice, and we'll see how it works out. Right now, it's working out like shit because I can't go anywhere, but that's fine. It's just race one, and much like Twig last season, I was all gung ho. I had prepped for last season to be a promotion season, and then my group got canceled, and so I got reorged to a new group, and that was kind of like, well, shit, because I knew the group I was in, and I was going to wreck it. It was me, actually. Luke and I were in the same group, and it was going to be him and I just battling all season long in that group, and then we both got moved to different groups, and it was like the first 4 races. I think I had 1 points finish, and then I had like 3 or 4 basic like 20 point or top 20 finishes, but I didn't stress it because I knew I'd be all right. And then I finished off the season really strong, so it was good. But no, I just picked tires, and that's what we originally talked about. And the tires were really good. How do they do it in NASCAR, Tony? Like, the tires were really good today. The team was great. I want to thank all my sponsors for staying with me this race.
I want to thank the Transformer sponsors.
Wait, hold on. Let me do a Lewis Hamilton race. It was really good. I want to thank everybody back at the factory for all their hard work, all the men and women who made the car possible today to finish
if it's
7th
NASCAR,
in
don't forget to show your beer.
Well,
That's a good point.
You also need to complain that your tires are gone, though.
Every effing race. My tires are gone. Let me put the fastest lap of the race in real quick. What? Get out of here, dude. Sandbagging.
They were
son
afraid
of a
the
bitch.
same would happen to Bottas, so they left the tire on there.
Right. And I get it. It was a great strategy that worked out very well for them.
The
There's
longest
one person in this
pit
chat
stop
that is not
in the
sad
world.
Mercedes is not in first. I can tell you that guy is right here.
Hi, Juanse. Yeah, I have some people saying hi in the my former mentees that visit the chat. What about your tire pick, Tony?
Oh,
You picked
it wasn't completely random. I mean, just getting in the Master this year, just looking to retain something with the package that I have to help me retain. Maybe see how I'm at, where I'm at, without going like really premium. And then I don't know, not that it does any good, but sometimes too checking, just weather stats, and just maybe trying to take a stab at what might be more likely to happen.
That's a lot of thought, Tony. I'm really proud of you.
He did his homework before picking tires, unlike you.
He did. Congratulations.
Well, yes, with for example, last season's weather, I think that Dunos would have been the ideal tire. If we have similar temperatures this season, let's hope not, because if that happens, Twig will be fucked. But
It was one good race.
Yeah.
But when we have mild temperatures, the Dunos work nicely. But I see that you two went for Dunos, for example, and you were not tempted by Chocos. Yokos are not tempting for new promoters?
I was told I wasn't allowed to pick them, so
Oh, your teammates threatened you, basically.
yes. Ami said no thank you for those. And if I don't give him credit on the stream, I'm probably gonna get kicked out of the team that I had to literally beg, cheat, and steal to get into. So I think that I will give him all the credit for that conversation.
Hey there,
A lot
Ami.
of energy. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, what a surprise.
What?
You overdid it.
I used 80% for 100 clear track risk last time.
I have no idea how my race is doing. Let's briefly check my race. Oh, I happen to be 11th. Not bad. I'll buy it. How are your races going? Shit show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 at the moment.
6.
Look
That
at you
sounds
go, Mr.
that's-
Master.
that sounds good.
Getting ready to pit.
Oh, okay. There's a bit soon.
Yep.
Well, PJ is asking Jan what does he think about the tire picks at Elite, I guess.
Well, I mean, I figured most tires before the race, based on the times. I think with this weather, it's quite well doable. But yeah, I was thinking between Mishi's and Bridge Rock for a while, because with all those Hancocks were in the race. Yeah, it might be difficult to quali well. And what is this race? I don't know. I'm a bit frustrated right now. Just got an 8-second DM. I'll be out of points anyways.
I'm checking a little bit the Elite. Well, I have a few teammates at the top 10. Nice. Wooter is 7th. Harsh is 6th. We are going to have probably going to have a discussion about Harsh coming in between you and Wooter. By you, I mean Jan. Are we having any pit soon? The 2 stoppers are going to pit soon. I have not checked how many 2 stoppers we have at Elite. I guess that you, Jan, are on a 2 stopper.
Yeah.
I'm on a 2 stopper myself, but not that it matters.
It matters. It
Well,
absolutely matters. We want you to do well in amateur.
yeah, I suck. It was embarrassing to see my qualies, you know. I had a very bad quali too, but it was still a little bit embarrassing to see my quali times. But I guess that the very low level car explains it too. Anyway, I suck. What can I do?
Suck
Not
less.
suck. Right.
To
Thank
suck
you.
less?
See, Sarah and I are on the same page. Get a better package.
Package.
We heard that packages help out tremendously with your race pace. So
Yeah, we got to figure out where you're donating that money to.
I will figure it out. Good thing I didn't say how much per package.
That's right.
I want to check a bit the master groups, shall we?
Sure.
Oh, Christian is leading the Master 1 race. Christian has been playing for a long time at Master without promoting now. I think this might be his season. I didn't check his driver to see if he's losing it soon or not.
Hey, I made a pass. Congratulations.
All right.
24th is
Yeah.
all mine.
You overtook someone at 30-something. Good. When I was on PP's last season, I forgot what was to overtake people. Let's check Master 2. Oh, Marcin Sack, the Polish, is leading. Artikasik. Kai is on third. I don't know if he's pushing for promo. I think Kai might be pushing for promo this season. Anyone knows? Jan?
What?
Is Kai pushing for promo this season?
I'm not sure.
You should do your homework before the streaming, you know?
I don't know all plans by heart.
Let's check Master 3. Brad was here. Oh, he's leading comfortably.
Big.
It looks. Oh, Max Watson is in second. My fellow countryman Alejandro started on pole at Master 4. I was surprised because he overqualified Bert.
He had a few good races last year, actually, Alejandro.
Yeah, he has been growing a lot at Master.
But I've got a feeling he'll lose his driver soon.
Yeah, maybe he's pushing for retention.
Come on.
Come on. Jean-Luc Avini, Patrick Johnson. Nice. Let's see, Master 5, my old group. I've been there for so long that I miss it. Say the snow. This might be pushing for promo this season, I believe. the GW on 6. GW. Mika on 10th.
So I've got a general GPro question. Is how come we've got a third set of Oscars? Isn't there quite a lot of overlap with the Oscars? We've now got another set of Oscars going on, haven't we? Have you seen that? Because there's not Oscars, Hall of Fame. Sorry, what am I saying? Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Three Hall of Fames. Yeah. There's quite a lot of overlap in them, isn't there? We've got obviously the official one on the game, which is all the statistics. Then we've got the one that's voted for by the community as part of the Oscars. And we've now got another one that John's doing. So this feels like there's just going to be 3 Halls of Fame, basically with the same people in all of them.
In all of them, yeah. Well, then I think the community one is different because, it's the others are more performance based.
Yeah, that's fine. I understand that obviously you've got the one on the game and the one for the community. That makes sense. But then we've got a new one now that kind of seems to be both. So,
yeah, I don't know. I believe that as long as people want to participate in it, it's fine. It's fun. But yes, I see your point. Talking about the Oscars, I think that Kyle is going to host them tomorrow this time because he always stresses a lot during race day and he's always at the last minute trying to put all the information together. So
live streaming Oscars?
Live stream, yes, we did it once. He joined the streaming a little bit later on the streaming, not when it started, and we discussed the Oscar winners. But I tried to get him to do it again some other day, and I wasn't lucky. He didn't want to do it again.
Well, that's not very sporting of him. I'll call his bullshit out on the stream. That's fine. John is pussy.
Pussy package.
Pussy package. Right. More money I have to donate. Thanks for the clip.
Shock us also.
Let's see. Ethan's out there in the comments. Noob.
I wanted to ask something to Tony.
Yeah.
Why are you so poor?
Why am I so poor?
You promoted the master.
Yeah, there you go.
Why are you so poor? Because you usually see people going down to amateur, building some money, sponsors, building the package. Put a package counter down here, and and Dari will donate. I was saying that you went down to AMA to rebuild, but came up poor. How come? What happened there?
I don't know, maybe some questionable choices. I took Avons a couple times for retention, try and test more. Probably a little bit of just being anxious to get up to and maybe pushing a little bit more than I was anticipating some of the seasons.
So you overdid risks? Changed too many parts? What happened?
Could be parts. Well, I really built it up a lot more than I had before. And like I said, what is it, about car's about 2 levels higher than it was last time I was in Master.
See, and
So
and
we'll see what
there's
happens.
June right now calling out his shit. It's all right, buddy.
Hi, Sean.
I'll take your comments. At least I'm not scared to come on the stream and tell my Oscars or whatever the hell you're supposed to tell. Whatever nonsense you got going on, buddy. And yes, Ethan, I said you're a noob. Understanding that you are a top 38 manager. Absolutely. All the credit to you, my friend.
Well, we have
It's
a
tough.
question. We have a question that maybe the guys that have been above pro already can answer. If Avons are better retention time than Yokos for the first season in pro, what do you guys think?
Ooh, for the first season in pro,
Yeah.
that might be kind of tough. It depends what your package is like when you get to pro.
Package.
Damn it. More donating.
package. I did, and it was really anxious. The first time I took it, it's depending, what happens with the weather. I mean, that's always a chance, and if you happen to get a good season, it might be all right. But if you don't, it could end up really hurting you.
So overall, you didn't like the Avons.
Overall, I did when I was pretty comfortable that I could retain. Or even last year I took the Yokos, but before that I took I had the Avons and managed to win a couple with them.
Seems risky, Tony. Seems
Yeah,
risky.
yeah. I knew I'd retain, so I was okay with that. If it was I don't know what I did the first one, but I think the first season in pro would be pretty risky.
Meal's comment is awesome. I hope I said his name right. Chubby spring roll. Oh, June, that's so fantastic.
We have something going on between John and Miel in the in the chat.
That is fantastic. I love it.
That fat dumpling.
It is. No, we're gonna continue to laugh. Oh man.
Miel reminds me of my old times with Avons. Yes, when Avons were actually good tire, I used them to promote from Master to Elite, and it was great. But I'm afraid that since then the tires have lost some performance bars, and I wouldn't pick them again. Not even at pro. That's my 2 cents. I'm going to be at pro in a year or so, I guess, but I'm pretty sure that I resort to Shokos again. I won't ask Jan about the Avons because he's probably has no opinion because he never used them.
What?
Jan? Have you ever used Avons?
I think it's actually the only tire I never use, but I can check my profile.
You don't even remember. Great.
No, it's actually the only tire I have never used. So I don't know. Maybe they are the best. Maybe
Well,
I leaving them for better times.
well, if
when I can afford them.
You have teammates at all tiers. Would you recommend picking Avons to any teammate?
Depends on the situation. I think if you wanna do one big push in rain race, and you don't have the money for wet years, and you somehow want to retain, then I think you can take them if you expect to be good in rain.
So you don't discard them?
No, I think the change was actually quite interesting with the rain bars. I always thought that if I was admin, I would have maybe increased gave them one dry bar more and made the price a bit cheaper to make them a reasonable tire. But now I think with the change, it's not a very common tire, and I think it will never be. But as an alternative to bad years for one big push in rain races, I think it might be an option for some manager who want to retain with a weaker package and lower money.
I think in not last season, the season before in M4, I think Kuba took Avon's, and he had a pretty good season. I think he might have even finished above me in the standings. Obviously, it was quite a cold season, so that did help. But I mean, he didn't just retain; he finished top 10 on Avon's, which in Master, which is pretty good going. I don't know if you have any insight on how he approached that, Jan. He's not listening.
I wasn't paying attention. My laptop has almost no charge. I need to recharge it, so it's not shutting down. So what was your question?
I was just saying that a couple of seasons ago in M4, Kuba took Avon's and finished top 10 in the standings. Given that he's in New Valari, I was wondering if you had any insight into kind of how he approached that season, because that's like not just retaining, that's finishing top 10 in Master, which is pretty good going.
Wait, do you know which season it was? Then I can.
What season are we in at the moment? I think 1780, was it? 79 or 80? So a quick look.
Let's check his profile.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was
80.
his
He finished 7th.
His first Master season. Well, I mean, in Master, it's I'm not sure how to say that, but I think in Master there is still a very big difference in management and in package in general. So if you have a very good package, then you're usually still fine if you take a cheaper tire. So Yoko's doing fine. You can easily promote with a good package out of pretty much every group, and also do well even in the first season. And if you can do well on Yoko's, then you're also doing fine on R01s if you have a strong package and not such a strong group. So I think I would still recommend Yoko's in that case, but I think probably as long as you don't take pippies, you're fine.
Yes, they say with the PHA matching, the 1B push strategies can be accomplished with pretty much any tire. Well, we saw Amitesh last season on Pro doing some interesting things with pippies.
He does do interesting things with PP. You're right about that. There's absolutely no doubt that he does interesting things with PP. No, he did, and it was interesting in our Discord chat about how he strategized to get those races lined up perfectly, and it just worked out. And he did. He got, I think it was 3 or 4 points finishes with those last season.
Yes, towards the end of the season.
Yeah. No, but he did a lot of planning, and I don't know if you guys know this about him. He plans out things pretty meticulously.
Well, it's contagious. You started planning now.
Yeah, no, it is really contagious. You should see my season plan. It's got me DNFing the next 16 races. So, but yeah, no, it is spreading to me, and I'm grateful to have somebody like him in the team to help me, because yeah, like I said, I've been playing this since season 17 and really just didn't care up until recently to even give effort. So it'll be cool to see how that plays out.
Anything to say in the chat, Amitesh?
He probably disconnected.
Oh, he was like 5 minutes ago. He was there. Oh, he says, thank you, David. I was wondering if you wanted to add something about your planning. Or... Oh, so sweet.
That's what he says
Teammates.
now. Let me tell you, you want to hear about the recruitment thing? Let me tell you about how
Yes,
that
please.
went.
We want recruitment gossip.
Yeah, so I wanted to join a new team. I had been in Epic, which is kind of a, it's a cool team, but there's not any seriousness there. Which is fine. It's good for them. They're very casual, and that's cool. But I wanted to join a more serious team, so I asked Eric, my BFF/boyfriend, what his thoughts were on a good team to get into that would take me, because honestly, I've been playing forever and haven't really done a lot. So I know that from a quote unquote big team perspective, I probably was going to struggle. And then he suggested that I talk to Tyrell, and I was like, who the fuck is Tyrell? Like, what are you doing? Like, I haven't even heard of them.
Who are these guys?
But I started talking to them, and it was good conversation, pretty superficial. And then Ami pinged me and said, yeah, we're not interested. And I was like, so I was like, what? Why?
What did I do?
Conversation, and he was like, well, your values and what you're looking for don't really align to what we have in store. And I was like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, yes, they do. So I ended up having some more conversation with them for a few more weeks, and then
you took your time. You took it slowly.
Finally let me in. So it was good, and I'm grateful because it's such a good group. We have a lot of fun. There's a Canadian in the group, so we get to talk about hockey, which is fantastic. Because nobody in G Pro knows anything about hockey. I don't understand it, but so it's been cool. But yeah, it was interesting. I had to beg, cheat, and steal to get in. So
wow, that's a very nice story. I like how you took it slowly, step by step,
yes.
And then you ended up together.
Honestly, it was like when you're dating a virgin in high school and they're just like, no. And I'm like, yes. But then I finally got there. So I was like, yes.
What about your recruitment, Sarah?
It was pretty easy actually. Like I just applied when there was a spot open and they took me in. Simple as that.
Easy peasy.
Yep.
Yes, I think that the ICE women are pretty simple when recruiting because first of all they look for a very specific type of manager which is female gender. So there are not many females in the game, so it might be a little more simple to get in that team than getting in another. You're currently recruiting, I understand.
Yeah, we have 2 spots open, but we're taking our time.
You're taking your time, okay, but you can advertise a bit.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty new still to the team, so I'm only like a season in.
Well, you're almost a baby in game terms too. You have been here for 20-something races, so
I'm getting lit up in my Discord about what I just said. And so Neil wants to know who the virgin was. It was definitely Ami. 100%. He is. It's one, or it could be a Matt, one of the two. We don't know, but he's not in the team, so I guess it's Ami. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, Sarah. Please keep
no,
I got nothing to say really.
No, she doesn't have a sweet story like yours and your recruitment and how you met each other.
It's very boring.
It's more uninteresting. Yes, I think that the good thing that I have is that they recruit newbies, and it might be not very easy to get a team when you're a newbie, and they are open to newbies, and that's a good thing.
Well, and the game
Yeah,
needs
sure.
that, right? Because this game is so, honestly, it's, I don't want to say complicated, but you really have to have somebody other than Viper to push you along in this game. And that's super important, because if not, it's easy to get buried and quit, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, there were a few people. I'm not gonna name names, but there were a few people who said that I should stay away from Viper.
That's a bit harsh. Oh, Jan disappeared.
He did.
Bye-bye,
He put it,
Jan.
but he had to go.
Oh, he apologized about being busy with university at the private chat and left. I didn't see it on time to let him say goodbye to the rest of the people. Cuba is asking here if anyone talked about him or if it was boring. Yes, we did actually talk about you, Cuba.
We talked about you, Cuba, and it was also boring. There we go.
We talk about your Avon's campaign and how new you are, of course, Kai.
And we talked about packages.
And we talk
We
a lot
talked
about
lot
packages
about
today.
packages.
Yes.
We did.
Pussy packages, chocos,
Yes.
all the things that
Tools, toys.
Wait,
Tools?
can you sing? Are you musically inclined? Is this what I'm hearing? I feel like you
Oh.
owe us a song.
I won't be doing any singing, I'm afraid. My
Oh.
18-month-old son is sleeping in the room above me, so
You got an 18-month-old. Congrats. How's that going?
Yes. It's fine. It has its challenges.
I bet it does.
I'll leave it
your
like
first?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations, bud. That's awesome.
Thank you. But yeah,
Yes.
I
No.
don't
Well, then no singing.
wake
We'll have
him
to
up,
get you another
so.
time.
You can,
Yes,
you
don't
can
wait.
you can hear my singing on Spotify or whatever. It's fine.
Oh,
Oh, that's fantastic.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I'll definitely check it out.
It's good.
it's
Thanks,
good.
Tony.
Yep.
Thank you.
You bet.
Has he ever sing in the team chat or something?
Not that I'm aware
Tony,
of.
Tony, spit the beans. Tony,
He's on
spit the
Spotify.
beans.
He's like, I got to get paid to sing. I don't want to sing for free. That's not going to happen.
Oh, here's Jan saying goodbye. Goodbye, Jan.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Not a very good race for Jan. I understand he left so suddenly.
So Julian's won the elite race. I mean, that's got to be quite rare, right? Someone winning the elite race on their first race back.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's crazy.
A nice achievement.
There was a nemesis of
Congratulations.
mine last season because obviously he had the meat cheese and he spent, I think, more money than anyone other than I think one or two people in elite the whole season. And I think he won the OBP in master, but I was second. So I was part of me just thinking, oh man, like, you know, I don't think I'll ever have a chance to get that achievement again. So it was a shame that I didn't get it. But I mean, in fairness, he's now got to elite and he's won the first race of the season. So he's obviously doing something right.
Well, there you have.
Yeah.
I won OBP once. No trophy, so it was not fun. I mean OBP that one OBR, no 1BP. I'm sorry, I'm mixing the acronyms. I won one big race a season. I don't know if I can.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's my fault. I said it wrong.
Oh yeah. And it's not. I don't know. There are some achievements that somehow I'm not very excited about those. The achievement I want that is close for me now and I do find it very interesting is the dyno achievement. I'm 60 races away from it, so I'm looking forward getting it soon. You, on the other hand, are way fresher than me, all of you. I was checking the profiles before the streaming, and I noticed that the three guys have very similar number of races, all close to between 350 and 400. So you are a very similar experience in the game, but you have gone different paths, and are
That's for
very
Mhm.
yeah. We have Tony joining Master after a while, and that's his highlight, the highest tier he has been at. And Twig, on the other hand, has been at the lead quite a few times already. And you, Daryl, you have been twice at Pro, but the first time you didn't even try, you know.
I didn't. I quit.
You quit.
I quit because
That's so lazy.
I didn't even plan on promoting.
That was so lazy.
I got
Come on.
got frustrated, and I totally quit. 100%.
Well, I don't know how I ended my race. I wasn't in a very good position. 16th. That's low. I suck at this game. I definitely suck at this game, people.
That's okay. We all suck, except for Twig.
Well, I was 33rd today, so it's not great, is it?
Yeah, I'd say that 16th is a bit better.
I was 31st.
31st. Did you use any risks, or did you go zero clear track?
No, I went for 10.
Oh, no, small risks, not very high.
I finished 11th, I think.
11th is good. Congrats.
P19, baby.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to finish P9.
No, that seems awful. P9 is the worst.
Yeah.
P9 is awkward, yeah.
Right.
You know,
it's like
it's
so close.
why can't I get the point?
Right. Why can't I get the point?
P9 it's awkward. Oh, I remember a season I had that I was coming from and Pro. I had gone all the way down to build a package, and I was in my first master season, and I had a very hard time retaining, you know. I had P8, P9, and I wanted to have a couple more points, and there were like 3 races where I had a driver mistake in the last lap.
Oh.
And I lost points in the last lap. It was very
Wow.
frustrating season.
Yeah, that's awful.
Congrats, Celia, on the 5th. Sorry about it. Why? Did you cause my driver mistakes, Pichet? I don't remember that. I don't remember, Pichet. How did the master races end?
I think one of the challenging things with G Pro when you're coming up through the ranks is trying not to get attached to your driver.
Oh, yes.
But I think that was when I first played my first kind of few seasons when I was progressing. I was always so desperate to get promoted because I wanted to keep my driver, because I thought, oh, maybe I can keep him all the way to elite. And I mean, really, when I look back at it, he was a decent driver, but he wasn't anything amazing. And I think actually maybe it was obviously nice to get to elite on that first run, even though I was woefully underprepared for it. But I think maybe I would have actually got more out of the game if I just kind of hung around in the lower tiers for a bit, been a bit more patient, explored a few different things, and kind of learned through the game that way, rather than always being desperate to kind of get to the next tier. And I think it's the driver thing which gets people. Even now, like in elite, I'm like, well, I've trained this driver for ages. I want to keep him and see, how good he can be. And I'll probably just get relegated because everyone else has just signed better drivers than me, So we'll see. But it's really hard to not want to hang on to your driver and think, oh, he's going to be so good in a few years. And sometimes it's actually quite nice just spending a few seasons in the same tier, just signing a driver who knows you can retain with them and just keep it churning for a while. But I think when you first start off in the game, it's that kind of desperation to progress. And then once you've actually progressed, you look back and think, oh, it would have been better if maybe I hadn't have been so desperate to get here. But of course, you only learn that from experience.
Well, I remember my own experience. I joined Jaguar in season 30, and I was like 3 seasons old player. I was pretty young still to the game, and changed my point of view of drivers completely when I joined the game, of course, because when you join a game with a team with some experience, you, of course, learn a little from the experience of your teammates. But the advantage I found of going up the tiers with the same driver is that it gave me the time to process all the new stuff and learn about the game, because I was a fresh player, and grow with the driver. As the driver grows, you also grow as a player, and it was a nice experience to do all that stage of my career with the same driver. But yes, after you do it once, then I don't know, it is not the same.
It's hard to be patient.
It's hard to be patient, but it was nice. Then you, of course, identify some of the mistakes you made. For example, I wanted to have a driver which took me to elite and helped me retain, but I did not picture myself winning a trophy with a driver. So I picked a driver with not so much talent, which made my OA management relatively easy. But it was not bad at that point. I mean, it was my first elite experience. It was also the team's first long-term elite experience. Of course, after that, Roland promoted to elite, and the rest is history, But back then, it was me coming as a human sacrifice to elite to find out stuff, like many teams do. And it was a nice experience overall. But then I started thinking why I didn't pick a driver with more talent.
I've heard that's important.
Yeah, you don't pick drivers with talent, Daryl.
I do now. The first driver that I ever actually started doing well with, I got into amateur with him, and then I maxed out his concentration because I didn't know any better.
Typical
So
rookie mistake.
I was really doing well in qualifying. But yeah, that didn't work out so well. And he had like 98 talent. It was great. So anytime it rained, I was like, why am I finishing in last place when every other race I'm doing so well in? But yeah, no, I agree with you. Getting into a team with folks that understand all that stuff makes it a lot easier for sure to figure out, because that's the frustrating stuff. I mean, finding the setup is frustrating enough when you don't have a tool or know all of the ins and outs of that, but then also you have to manage the driver. So getting into a decent team in the start is super helpful, for sure.
Well, I think that we have been lucky. I mean, some of the guys who are here have been lucky with the teams that took us in very early in our careers, especially the Malati guys.
Oh yeah,
I would
definitely.
say so.
Yeah, I can't really imagine playing this game without not being in that team. You know.
I was very lucky with my recruitment too. It was a moment for the team where we were a growing team. We were not at the very top of the game yet, so we needed people willing to reach the higher tiers and learning about the game. So there was not much experience required. Now we tend to recruit a little bit more experienced players.
I've heard that as well. Guys are awfully picky over there.
Well,
It's like you're good or something.
Well, it's a little harder to recruit these days for a team like Jagger, because if you pick a very fresh or green driver manager, I mean, it might be hard to adapt to a bunch of dinos. I don't know. I think that in that sense, family teams have an easier time. For example, Nuvolari or Malati, they have more people in the team, and that makes the bunch a little bit more varied. I don't know, you guys, the Malatis, what do you think? Is it easier to recruit for you? Do you have more to pick from?
I suppose. Yeah, we do, but we still. I mean, we've had a few recruitments really in the last few seasons where we've actually had quite a few good potential candidates come to us, and and they've worked out. You know, like recently we've just recruited Gear, and before that I think we had Vlad, your fellow Argentinian, and you know those guys are doing really well. And also like Bruno, we recruited as someone fairly inexperienced, and he's obviously gone on to promote to elite and win a race there. So I think
he wins races at elite.
We still look for people who are not that experienced, but who are keen. Who they don't miss races.
Ambitious. I will say ambitious.
Ambitious. That's exactly right. And they ask the right questions, and that they're going to participate, and we're going to sort of see them on the Discord chat and that kind of thing. And they post in team forums, that sort of thing. As long as people, like you say, are ambitious and keen, then that's what we look for. So I suppose in a way it's trickier because you're not looking at necessarily at their record. If you're recruiting someone who's experienced, you want someone who can just get results, then you can see it in black and white how they've done in the game. Whereas when we're recruiting people in amateur, we're not necessarily looking at that. Obviously, we still want to see that they've got a fairly good track record and they know what they're doing, but there's a bit more to it. It's almost like trying to spot potential rather than achievement. So I suppose it makes the pool of candidates bigger, but it doesn't necessarily make it easier because you've got to try and spot the diamonds in the rough almost.
I understand. See you, Miel. What about the phobia part of the team? Do you guys do active phobing in the team, or do you?
Well, we invite new members into the team, and then we hide all the tools from them and say, no, until you've proved yourself.
I more or less know about this because I regularly talk to Brad and Jasper, and so I do know the answer to this question. But of course, the people who is watching the streaming might not, and it might be interesting to know how teams, if teams do their own phobia or not.
Do you mean like what we do with like the people who are new into the team, like how much we expect them to work out and how much we just tell them? Is that? I mean, we give them access to the tools that we use, so straight away they've got all these things available to them. But a bit more than that, yeah. There's a few things to help with like season planning and that sort of thing. But
tell me more. Tell me more.
We expect people to kind of really understand how to apply them. It's not something you can just pick up and just start using. There's nothing where we can get new people who then just plug in the numbers and it tells them what to do. It's nothing like that. We still need to explain how things work, and people still need to discuss how their plans fit in. And obviously everyone's using a similar kind of idea with how they plan things, but everyone's plan is different, right? So even the guys at the top, the people like Harky and Jasper and George, their knowledge level is all similar. They all use similar kind of tools and similar approach, but yet their planners are all different because everyone's kind of trying to achieve different things and has got a slightly different approach. So yeah, I think the new guys, we give them, they have access to the same things as everyone else does, but there's definitely an emphasis of gradually taking them through it step by step and making sure that they actually understand how to use the things, and they ask the right questions and stuff. I don't think you wouldn't get that far just by if we just said, just use that. I don't think people would get very far with it. They'd still have to ask and know what they're doing.
So that means that there's a required level of input.
Yeah.
So I have seen automatized planning tools, for example, and I don't know. I find.
Carry on. Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
No, that I find that if you get handed an automatized tool, you might not put much thinking in stuff, and it's harder to visualize a full season, for example.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I must say it's difficult for me to know how that feels as a new person, because when I joined the team, there were some tools that people developed, but I also had my own sort of things that I was trying to develop things for myself, and then that the team could use as well. Like now we have, like Brad does quite a lot of like bringing all the different ideas together into one place, so we don't have lots of different tools for lots of different things. We can just use it like one centralized thing, and Brad does a great job of that. But it's something which has evolved over many seasons and years, where we've had lots of different ideas of things, and they've gradually been sort of added into, we might have something which looks at the car wear and the CT and all that kind of thing. And then something else which looks at budgets, and then the other things which looks at driver development and stuff. And it gradually kind of all becomes one thing that we can use. But it was all started off as separate things that people worked on.
Yeah, well,
I don't know what it's like now for people who join the team, and it's all there ready to use, because I was part of the team as it as it evolved.
As it was developing, of course, it's not the same. I've seen, for example, I was at a team very early in my career, which was called Beyond All Limits, and they had a planning tool and a setup tool. I was handed those when I was pretty new to the game. But I was curious, and I went through the topics in the team forum where they had the discussions while they were developing those tools, and I learned a lot from that. That was very enlightening. For example, I arrived to the team. I know this is a bit embarrassing, but I arrived to the team without knowing how to set up a car. That's the truth. Flo didn't know how to set up a car when she was like 2 seasons old. I was just going with a comment, driver commentary saying it was satisfied and was not aiming for the center of the driver range. And I learned about the driver's range going through the discussions of the team. And on the side, I was using a setup tool too. What about you, Sarah?
About what tool?
Tools and phobing in general.
Yeah, we use tools in our team, but we still share data, and sometimes the tool, like in my experience, for one race, it didn't really add up. I think it was Mugello last season.
Oh, yes. It's a tricky track.
Yeah, I've discussed this with you as well. And I
Yeah.
didn't really know how to do setup like manually yet, so I've had to learn that. And yeah, so if anything like that happens again, then I know what to do now.
Yeah.
So that race, yeah, it didn't really go well. It was like one of the few races that I didn't get a podium last season. But yeah, overall, we do use tools.
You use tools, but there's a difference between using a tool that was developed in the team that using hand-me-down tools.
No, we don't have like a tool that's developed within the team. We just use like, yeah, an external.
External tools, yeah.
Yeah.
The site that shall not be named. Because it's blacklisted in GPro. But well, those things exist too, so we cannot deny their existence. What about you, Daryl? You are in a pretty new team. How's
Yeah.
the research going?
We do have a tool. His name is Ami.
I
no.
suspected that.
No, but seriously, they do have a pretty good tool, and the former team I was with also had a really good tool as well. So I've been pretty spoiled in that regard. Even way back in the day, Monster that I was with, that was like my first team, also had a pretty well developed tool. So, but to Sarah's point, you know, there are days or races, especially with my earlier teams, that the tool was like, what the heck are you saying? And then you have to figure it out. And it's good to know how to set up the car on your own just in case, because it's really easy to get sucked into the tool and making sure that it's giving you the right setup. But I can't imagine. Well, I can imagine, because I can remember back to first trying to figure out how to set up a car, but without anything. Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, from the batch that is here tonight, you are the oldest player. Not maybe in number of races terms because you retired for a while, but you were in the game when there were not many external sites with
Right.
tools. How was
Would have
that
been nice if I
experience?
tried back then. Probably actually beat somebody today. It'd be great. Yeah, like I said, the first team I joined, and I can't remember what season I joined them, but they had they had a pretty well-defined tool that gave good setups most of the time. And I mean, season planning, I mean, I made the joke earlier, but honestly, I didn't do any of that. So
You didn't try that too.
so I didn't have to worry about it because I just went out there and raced the race. So I was like, I'm trying to win every race. What do you mean? Testing? I don't know what that is. Stop it. My driver has 98 tailwind and 250 concentration. I'm good. I am good. Yeah, so I don't really remember the days without that. I do remember the days of just setting it up manually though, and having to learn what the different values meant, and how you were supposed to adjust. And to your point, you talked about the like happy range, I guess we'll call it. Yeah, didn't know any of that. So I didn't. As soon as I got it to stop saying you suck at setting the car up, I was like, I'm good. Didn't realize I had to probably get to the middle, but that's okay. Yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah.
I did quite a lot of Googling when I first
Yes.
joined, and I just found some things on that. I do wonder whether or not I like the idea of phobia, and I think it's really rewarding when you start. You don't necessarily get you don't get the answers, but it's like you almost get to know what questions to ask. Even that can be quite rewarding to have a question, and then for someone to kind of give you a hint on it or to gradually get the answer. That in itself is kind of the rewarding part. I mean, I found the analyzer tool online for the tires and fuel pretty quickly, and I think if I hadn't found that, I think I might have found it a bit too frustrating. I think that kind of level of phobia is quite a lot, like having to build up data, just because obviously each track is different. So what you race at Hockenheim, and then you have to wait for 3 seasons at Hockenheim to get another bit of data. I think that process is quite long and laborious, and I can imagine if you don't at least have some help on that side, that's where you just kind of get a bit bored because the game would just be too difficult almost. It would require too much from you. But I think all the other things that the game builds up slowly, I think that side of the phobia is really good. Kind of the way that every stage of the game, there's something new to think about.
Well,
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I think looking at it as somebody who helped build a web-based browser game previously for a totally different type of genre, but still a manager game, giving people just enough information to not have them quit, but not too much so that they don't figure out the game in 2 seasons, right? Because then that kind of ruins the fun, and then you've got a bunch of people that all know everything, and then it's not fun for anybody. Is an interesting balance as a developer to have to try to balance between. But yeah, I mean, and then on top of what you're saying, Twig, there's also like the temperature affects the setup so much too, and the car parts, and now you've got this data from when you were in rookie, and now you're in amateur or maybe even pro by the time you race that track again, and it's like, well, shit, this doesn't even make any sense now because it's a totally right, and the driver and everything's so different. I mean,
you have a different engine level.
Yes.
Different electronics. You had a level 1 piece, and now you have a level 5.
Right, you went from a level 1 package to a level 5 package.
Definitely.
Level 5 package is much bigger than the level 1, so much stronger.
Yeah.
Oh man! All right, I got a jet, but I had so much fun. Thank you for inviting me, Flo.
See you, Darren.
Yeah, thanks, Flo.
And Twig and Tony, it was very nice to meet you. Sarah, it was nice to meet you.
We are reaching 2 hours, so I think that we might all leave already and
I need to have some dinner.
Streaming here. Yeah, and we have lives too. We have lives and families to go back to. So, well, thank you everyone for being here tonight. I appreciate that a lot. And let's hope your seasons improve from here.
Well, I've just seen. Have you seen the weather for the next race?
Yes.
It's cold and wet, so
Right.
mine is going to get worse, unthinkably. But yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah, it's going to be another season, isn't it, of just cold, wet races? Oh well, never mind.
This is going to be a long season.
I think so. Thanks for
Well,
having us on anyway,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
good to see you on here, Tony.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, in the
see you,
future.
everyone. Thank you, everyone, and
Bye.
good night. Bye bye.
Bye.